And welcome to the Turns Out podcast. I am your host, Jules, and back with us is Alonso Aliaguilla. How you doing?
Hey, thank you for having me back.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm surprised you invited me back, actually.
Well, you know, you got...
Or did I invite myself?
You got a lot of guts showing your face around here.
Yeah.
A lot of balls. But you know what? It's all
Luckily,
for the best.
nobody can see my face right now.
Or your balls.
Yeah,
so
true.
we actually are here with the Oscar reactions. And
We're here with Oscar himself.
we're here with Oscar. He's a quiet guy, though, so you'll have to
He
forgive
is.
him for that.
And by quiet, we mean he doesn't say anything ever.
And by not saying anything, we mean we drowned him.
Yes.
We did drown him. So, yeah. What would you say about the overall show? I give it a B plus in terms of just a show, an award ceremony. Better than last year.
Is this... Yeah,
Better than last
what are
year.
the standards? Are we comparing it to other Oscars or just...
Pretty much last year.
Pretty much... Well, compared to last year, this was an A++++++.
It was
Like, last year was really, really bad.
140%.
But compared to, like, let's say the great Oscars or something like that, maybe a B-.
Okay. No, well, I'm not too far off. I'm just glad that Billy Crystal came back and kind of showed today's kids, you know, how is that you command an audience, how you do it on stage. You know, he literally gave, you know, a little song and a dance, and it was just, it was predictable, but it was well done, and it was professionally done. You mean,
I agree.
fucking James Franco was, if he wasn't stoned, I mean, I hope he was stoned, you know, just because how flat he was up there, and Anne Hathaway, you know, bless her little heart, but yeah, she just...
Yeah, James Franco died to me that
Really?
day. That night, he really did.
Well,
I actually see him like in a new light. Kind of after you watch the Tom Cruise on Scientology video. I don't know if you've seen that video. It's on YouTube.
I've been sparing. I like to keep the art separate from the artist. You know, that's what I like to do.
No, I do that too, but it's
like
very hard to do with Tom Cruise.
I didn't jump on the hate on Mel Gibson bandwagon.
No,
the way
I
everybody
love
did.
Mel Gibson. I love Mel Gibson. I mean, that didn't change anything for me. But watch the Tom Cruise video. It's very special. It's in its own unique category.
I'm sure. I mean, he's a crazy guy. I have no doubt of that.
He's a crazy guy. Yeah.
But I really liked him in Born on the 4th of July. You know, it's gonna take a lot for me to whatever. Either way, James Franco, I do dig the guy. I saw 127 Hours the other day, and I really liked him in Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Movie.
And of course, Pineapple Express. It's like one of my favorite movies. And
yeah, he's awesome.
I think he makes that movie. Ironically, you know, it's funny because he's surrounded by some of the funniest people today: Danny McBride, Seth Rogen, and he ended up being like the funniest guy in that movie. So you know, it's something to be said about that. But anyway, let's push through here. All right, so first came up Best Short Film Live, The Shore won. And I got to tell you, if I knew that Carrie Hins was in The Shore, I would have definitely voted for that. No doubt. No doubt in my mind I would have voted for that. So that's one point for Alonso.
Nice.
Yeah. Best Short Film Animated.
The one and only point. No, I'm kidding. I won a couple other ones.
A few other ones, yeah. Best Short Film.
I was actually the only person in the world to predict Meryl Streep's win.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. Hey, don't get ahead of ourselves here, all right?
No, I didn't.
So let's try to stay on board. Best Short Film Animated. We both got that one right, and I don't. Again, I give full credit to the fact that it was the longest title, or just the best title, the longest and the best title there.
The thing is, you kind of stole mine because I was the first one to do it. You know, I was the first one to suggest it, but it's okay. It's okay.
I'm pretty sure if we go back, you might have said it first, but as I was reading it, I'm pretty sure
you thought it first.
I'm pretty sure I emphasized it in a way that revealed that I thought it first. No way to really prove it. Either way, we both got it right. So there you go. Best documentary short subject. You got that one right. That was the tsunami and the cherry blossom.
We really need some sound effects right now, like
bing. Yeah. Yeah. Best documentary feature. I got that one right. Like it's a gung gung. Maybe you can have like a bing, and I can have like a like an old like a gong or like a like a Liberty Bell.
Whatever my sound is, it has to be very epic. Nothing.
No,
nothing modern. A little more.
Your
old
sound
school.
will be like a triangle.
A little more Charlie Chaplin-ish.
Your sound will be a triangle, and my sound will be the Inception sound effect. The actually, that actually makes more sense for a wrong answer. But anyway,
exactly.
Best.
Or a confusing answer. You know?
Yeah, right. A confusing answer. What?
All right.
Huh? So yeah. So best achievement in visual effects. We both got the one right. Hugo. Best achievement in sound editing, and we both both of our second choice. We both believed in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was gonna win, and Hugo won. So it turns out it was reduced to a gimme because
turns out
it was used. Hey man, that's why it's the crux of every story. Yeah, I was really surprised because.
By the way, I'm doing my Will Smith for the rest of the show.
Psh, nah. Yeah, he's got a bunch of those non-verbal sounds.
No cursing.
Say what? Yeah, no, it's
It's a terrible Will Smith. I know. I understand.
I was gonna just say Will Smith is he's charming, but he's kind of terrible. I mean, yeah.
What?
I mean, like
we're doing this. Does this have to happen every time?
No. We'll move. We'll blink it forward. We'll just accept that I'm right. Best
These
achievement.
Blasphemous things.
Best
that
achievement in sound mixing. Again, another Hugo give me. I didn't think the sound mixing was particularly to write home about in Hugo, but Hugo was a better movie amongst these movies, and so they're going to give it to it, or at least according to the Oscars. Now, best achievement in editing. I have not had a chance to see The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I have. Can we get a sound effect for that?
Wah, 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 wah. Sorry, that's what you get.
We should just pay a guy like $1 an hour.
Soon I'm gonna have either my buddy Brian or Eric on the soundboards, and it's gonna get pretty epic because both of them are audiophiles like me, and it's gonna get pretty nasty in a good way, like buck nasty. But
eventually someone will take advantage of that role. Nobody wants to be the sound effect guy. Well, they're gonna start like mixing and scratching our words.
I think they're gonna start taking my comments out of context. And, I like balls. They're just gonna start dropping stuff like that. But best achievement in editing. I have not seen the American Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. However, it was my second. Like I figured if not the artist, then the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo more than Moneyball, just because these guys were I think they were nominated since Fight Club, and this might be one of those just kind of give me awards. But that was a pretty surprising.
Yeah, that was very surprising. I thought that Moneyball was going to take it. I mean, it was both of our second guesses, but it was very surprising. I mean, it was very well edited, like you said, I think it was kind of just. They kind of just gave it to them to give them something, because it was it definitely was a good movie overall, and so they didn't want to not give it any wins.
Also,
they wanted them to come out with something, and if they were going to give it to them for anything, it was going to be for editing, because that was probably the biggest accomplishment of the movie.
I want to find out how much of the palette. Of the filters, how much of that was done in post versus done on camera?
Well, that's the thing with from what I know of David Fincher, he's a big post guy.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So that's probably why none of his movies actually win for best cinematography or even get nominated. Well, yeah, Benjamin Button. I thought Benjamin Button was a beautiful looking movie, but it didn't win, and probably just for the fact that a lot of it was done in post.
That's a very smooth transition to our next category, best achievement in cinematography. We both got that one right. Hugo. Just that opening shot that it goes through the train out the station.
It's just to me in that category there was no competition.
There was zero Tree of Life.
The Tree of Life was fantastic.
And even I agree with that, even though I think Tree of Life was overrated I thought Tree of Life was simultaneously overrated by the people who worship it, and I thought it was severely underrated by the people who say they fell asleep during it. So I'm in a weird kind of in between don't want to belong to a club that'll have me as a member kind of thing about Tree of Life.
That movie has got that effect on people.
I wish they would release 2 versions of it, a shorter version and a 6-hour version. That way the fans can suck on the teats of Malik's and just kind of just completely indulge.
Here's the thing about Terrence Malick.
That supposed majesty, and then the rest of us can enjoy a good family drama with some like artistic and nature overtones, but not just have it shoved down our dinosaur throat.
I 100% agree, but that will never happen because Terrence Malick is one of those guys. He's one of those artists that if there, just picture, I don't know, some dictator of some country, right?
Sure.
If he were to actually be successful, if people were to really like him, he would still be a dictator at the end of the day. Right. So even if if the things he did actually benefited, it was for the greater good of the people. Mm-hmm. People would still have, some kind of sympathy.
He would still have limits, and even though he fought for freedom, he'll settle for power, just like Castro. Yes, I can totally.
Point is that Terrence Malick is one of those type of artists or dictators or whatever that will have a humongous fan base of obsessive people who will love everything that he does.
Like Castro, okay.
Yeah, but he doesn't give a crap about his fans, and he's not going to do something because one of his fans wants him to do it.
Well, the majority
of
viewers, not just his fans.
If he does anything that his fans love, it's because he thought of it on his own.
Sure.
And not because anyone helped influence him. So he's one of those funny characters.
I actually
like that,
respect that very much. It's just that his taste...
I'm neither here nor there with that.
His taste is just a little off base in terms of length and pace. Seriously, dude, when Tree of Life comes to Blu-ray or DVD, I'm totally gonna get a digital copy and cut it myself, and I'll show people, hey, now watch it. And I bet
did you ever? I never got to watch this, but I've always wanted to watch it. That recut of Episode 1 of Star Wars.
No, I never. They just cut out
you
Jar
could
Jar?
actually see it. No, you could actually see it in the actual Wikipedia article for the Phantom Menace. They highlight a guy, I think he was from California, an editor, who got the whole film and just re-edited it the way he thought that the fans would have liked to have seen it.
You said people get cut out?
And people thought it was fantastic. Big Star Wars fans actually thought that Episode 1 was an amazing film just because of the edit, and they kind of showed the power of editing. And you know what's amazing about that is that it's not like he's working with all the raw footage.
Right.
And then editing it down. He's editing an already edited project, which I think, honestly, is harder.
No, to me that's damn near impossible because
you're going to run into
like technical screenplay problems, and you're going to run into like possible storytelling problems. So that's very, I got to check that out. But let's push forward here. Best foreign language film, nailed it. Separation. Recently just saw it.
Without a doubt.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. So good.
What do you think? One of the best. Prison movies,
definitely. I still prefer
Blood In, Blood Out.
Actually, yes, but I was going to say that. I was going to say A Prophet. Blood In, Blood Out is a very personal film for me, and so no one's going to convince me otherwise. So I almost don't compare it with these other prison films. But man, A Separation, I would say second best prison film after The Prophet.
Cool.
Yeah, dude, you got to see The Prophet. Excellent French film.
A Prophet is amazing.
Oh, you saw it? Yeah, it's yeah. No, absolute stunning. All right, so best animated feature, of course, Rango won. It wasn't even in content. Like it wasn't even worth talking about it, so we won't. But
no, but I do think it's important to mention that although we were confident it was going to win, you have to give credit where credit is due, and I'm surprised and proud of the Oscars for giving them that award.
Well, I felt like they
didn't Rango. I mean, Rango, it's a different kind of movie. I don't think they had too much competition.
That's what it was. It was a lack of competition. Had any other Pixar movie come out that year, I think it would have won by default. Thank
Probably,
God
yeah.
Cars 2 didn't even get nominated. The only thing I am a little sad about was that Tintin didn't get even nominated. That I thought it deserved at least a nomination.
You watched it?
I did see it. But you know what? I'm biased. I'm a huge Tintin fan from like the Nickelodeon cartoons and the French comics. So did you not see Tintin, or did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, you should check it out, man. Tell me what you think. Especially if you're not familiar with the character. I'd be interested to hear an opinion from somebody who's not familiar with the Tintin.
Yeah, growing up, actually, my parents had a real bad like stigma against Tintin. I wasn't able to read or watch anything having to do with Tintin.
It's French.
It's a religious thing, you know.
Oh, Tintin did okay.
Yeah, it's a religious thing. The religion that I'm referring to is bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
No.
I totally made that up.
What are you? Oh, it was all bullshit.
Yes, it was all bullshit.
Let's try not to waste any kind of listeners' time here. All right, best performance by. Oh wait, well let's not get there yet. All right, so best achievement in music written for motion picture song. I got that one right. The Muppets won. Talking to my boy, Britt McKenzie. You know what? I was so surprised.
I ended up realizing what was I thinking? I knew the Muppets were gonna win.
Fucking Rio, dude.
But I wanted to give it to Rio because I like the song. I enjoyed the song.
Can I be honest with you? I have not seen the Muppets, nor have I seen Rio. But I know that the Muppets are, they're basically Hollywood royalty.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I haven't seen the Muppets, and I really want to watch.
All I know is Jason Segel and Brett McKenzie, so I was pre on board, and Brett McKenzie, I actually can't wait to see what Jermaine, I don't know his last name, the guy from Flight of the Conchords.
Dupree?
So what?
Sorry.
Jermaine.
Oh, Jermaine. The guy from Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah, what's it? He didn't thank him at all. Then again, I bet you was like, "Hey, Britt." He's like, "Hey, Jermaine."
Hey, Britt.
So what?
Is that show still on?
No, it's not. It canceled the second season. Actually, on their terms though, they decided to stop making the show because they just couldn't make that much material to keep up. So that's actually I'm pretty proud of them for quitting.
Oh, they pulled
while they're ahead.
Dave Chappelle.
Pretty much, exactly because right at the second season.
Except for they didn't go to like Africa and get lost.
Well, they went back to New Zealand, which you can easily get lost in New Zealand as well.
Yeah.
No, it's like, could you just imagine that scene where it's just like, so Britt, yeah, Jermaine, what are you gonna do now? Oh, I'm actually gonna work on the Muppets. What? Yeah, the Muppets. I'm gonna do songs for the Muppets. You wanna join me? Muppets is for guys. No, it's not for guys. I love the Muppets.
You see, I wish I could do an accent from New Zealand to keep up, but I'm not an accent kind of guy.
But in any are gay. What? Because they're roommates. Yeah. Well, we were roommates. Yeah. A lot of. I've actually seen comparisons between Bert and Ernie because of the eyebrows. But anyway, best achievement in music for motion picture, original score. The artist won. Of course it won.
Of course.
It was never even like I wasn't even worried. Like that was just Now here's the thing I do want to talk about.
I think they like skipped over everything at the Oscars. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't even remember them mentioning any other music.
No, they did. It's actually pretty funny. But John Williams, it is notable that he got nominated twice in 1 year, which is pretty standard for him. Best achievement in makeup. What? The Iron Lady won. Like that came out of nowhere. Like that was the most standard, straightforward glamour makeup job versus like Albert Nobbs and even Harry Potter, which you know me, dude. I think Harry Potter is one of the most overrated franchises of our time. It's basically like one.
But yeah, even the makeup from there is better.
It's
than
one
Iron Lady.
peg above Twilight in terms of like quality. But my God, at least on a visual level, it's better than Iron Lady, dude. That was just man, I was so disappointed, and I'm just okay. So pretty much we can chalk that up to politics. The guy's been nominated, or I guess I'm not sure if he was nominated before, but you know he's like the long-time Meryl Streep's personal makeup artist, and I guess they felt it was his time. So unfortunately,
I just don't think. I think makeup is one of those things that there was a little more prestige in the past.
That can make or break a movie, dude. I disagree. I think that I think that makeup now more than
like,
ever
I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that guy where they used to make it better. They don't make them like they used to.
That's
I
horseshit.
don't want to be that guy, but
bullshit,
I gotta be that guy with makeup.
No way, dude. Makeup. I mean, oh my god, like
there's so much you can do in post now. There's so many.
I think the Joker's makeup job is more than enough to argue against what you're talking about, because the Joker was purely
but how many people during Halloween pulled off the good Joker?
But see, it's not the technique, it's the initial concept, it's the artistic choices that you're, you know what I mean? It's exactly like music. Is that
what someone is winning for? Is that what a makeup artist is winning for?
It's part of it.
Winning for the
initial
actual
concept. I think it should be a huge part of why someone wins an Academy Award for achievement in makeup.
I hope so.
Not only that, everyone pulled off the Joker makeup. By the way, a lot of people fucked it up nasty.
Oh, definitely.
A lot of people.
You're always gonna have
I would say only like good, maybe like
5%.
I was gonna say even 3.5% of people actually pulled it off. Yours truly included. Anyway, you can check that on my Facebook. I'll stand at test time.
Dude, you should have seen my Catwoman makeup, man. It was.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
You had the whiskers and everything, right?
Everything.
You had the eyeliner, yeah.
Oh, it was
the wig,
great.
Very good.
I had everything down pat. The voice, everything.
You had the whip acting as
the sex appeal.
Mm-hmm.
It was oozing.
Yeah. Showed off a little bit of cleavage, right?
Yep.
Butt cleavage, of course.
Butt cleavage.
Yes.
Butt cleavage. Ball cleavage.
Never underestimate the bottom half of the nuts, because you know how like some shirts, the cutoff shirts, show the bottom half of the boobs.
Okay, so
what if you had some short shorts that showed off the bottom half of your?
We should post the picture
of your Chuck and Charlie
in Halloween. Yeah.
Anyway, best achievement in costume design went to the artist. I don't know why I decided with the fucking Madonna. You convinced me with. Oh wait, no, wait.
Yeah, we went for Madonna.
I didn't. I changed it. I went to the artist. Yes, I remember.
That's bullshit.
Nope. Last minute, I changed it to the artist.
Damn it.
Yep. You can.
Like last minute, right before.
No.
I
did it
win.
right before I posted it. When I was posting these things on the Facebook page, I was like, "Wait, Madonna fucking did no. The artist. The artist deserves it too." I thought the costume design was so authentic in the art. And
we need to film the behind the scenes of this podcast to make sure everything is in order. To have some kind of evidence for
you don't have to, my friend. The Facebook timeline records everything. Best achievement in art direction, Hugo, of course. Fucking gorgeous.
Yep.
So good.
Gorgeous.
You're gorgeous, sweetheart. Stick with me, kid. Yeah. Best writing. Okay, now, here's what I really wanted to kind of plow through. So that
here we go. Here we go.
I'm going to lay down. Man, I just...
Lay it down. Lay it down for us. Come on, man.
All right. First of all, I'm actually kind of happy for Jim Rash, he's on Community. He plays the dean, and he's the bald gay dean, and he is so great on that show. And so I'm almost... It definitely softened the blow to see him on stage, making fun of Angelina Jolie and her Stuart Little power pose.
Oh, yeah.
That was great.
that
was great. By the way, I got to say, you know how video killed the radio star?
Yeah.
HD killed the video star, dude. Angelina Jolie didn't look her best. Neither did Sandra Bullock on HD. They were like kind of sweaty. You can see like every kind of blemish. 19-year-olds had like crow's feet. It was just like, man.
You know what's funny? I'm not a big Angelina Jolie guy.
Neither am I. But she's still very statuesque. And
now if I'm a big fan of Angelina Jolie's leg, am I an Angelina Jolie guy? Because I have to say I'm guilty. Like,
dude, you know what's funny?
I like the leg. I liked
her. I liked the intent, and she is in shape. But in terms of the actual leg, if you were to dissect the leg away from Angelina Jolie and you put it on a lineup, I don't think it would raise anyone's eyebrow. If you actually take the leg, I thought she would look kind of thin and a little unhealthy, in fact. But the fact that it's Angelina Jolie, the cut of the dress was so perfect. It was just like, it was a perfect storm to show off that. But I'm telling you, man, I would put money that if you were to put that leg on a lineup, just the leg, people wouldn't be as impressed. Like
we sound like we're doing the the post red carpet. Podcast.
I'm not even the carpet. I'm not talking about her. I mean, it's
so who was the best dress?
No, I'm talking about who's the best leg, who's got the best thigh
best
muscle,
leg?
best calf, I'm telling you, it's not.
It's not definitely not KFC.
It's not.
I'll tell you
it's
that
not
much
Jolie.
right
Not KFC. Come on, Lee, you're so punny, dude. You're so goddamn punny. No, okay. So back on track. The Descendants. Holy shit! I gotta tell you, man, what a snub. I mean, in hindsight, and you're probably gonna disagree with me. The Brad Pitt performance wasn't all that stellar, and now that I think about it, 500 other actors could have played it just as well. What made it so incredible was
if you'd like to make a call,
what made it
please
it's very good. What made his performance so incredible was the characterization, which is all the script. Moneyball deserved it for screenplay. It was clearly the best. It was a movie that made fucking baseball statistics interesting.
Yep. It made Jonah Hill interesting.
Hey man, if you don't like Jonah Hill, then you probably represent a growing proportion of the country. I don't know. I think he's actually really funny.
No. I think he's hilarious.
I loved
what
that
I really meant to say is it made Jonah Hill serious for people to take him serious.
Right.
I mean, but the guy got nominated for an Oscar.
He's still I thought he played a very good comic relief in a movie that, I mean,
up until The Fighter, Christian Bale hadn't been nominated for an Oscar.
No, yeah, that's yeah. No, well, Edward Norton still doesn't have an Oscar. Samuel Jackson still doesn't have an Oscar. I mean,
I'm saying nominated. There's people out there who have not been nominated.
Gary Oldman didn't get nominated for Best Actor until fucking this year. So yeah, it's there's a whole lot of justice that needs to be reallocated. But, dude, The Descendants, holy crap! And, well, I gotta say, I mean, I can't talk too much shit because I didn't actually see The Descendants, but...
Oh, no. I saw it.
And so my anger is pretty justified.
Bad.
But was it the best screenplay of the fucking year?
Definitely not. But even more pissed off, I'm going back to the original thing from the first podcast. I don't even care that The Descendants won because I cannot believe The Ides of March was fucking nominated.
Well, never mind because it didn't win shit.
That was my first curse. Can I get another sound effect? Come on. Damn it. We should just hire someone.
No, I got it. I was gonna go out. Darn. Like when you kind of slip and the anvil falls on you. Dude.
Another thing I have to say about adapted screenplay. I don't know how exactly what the criteria is, and
if it's
based for the Oscars.
If it's based on a book, a short, a television show, or
I know, but do they judge it? Do they judge it in the sense that, how accurate was it to the book?
No,
how
just how good it was
from the book?
Just how good it was.
But let's say you have this. Let's say you have a book that can go straightly into a movie. Would someone win Best Adapted Screenplay and like effortlessly?
No, dude, because maintaining it is its own challenge.
No, I agree.
Staying faithful in and of itself is its own challenge.
But that's using the logic that a book is very hard to adapt to a movie.
Well, it is
the book is very different. It's like a commentary.
No, it totally is more.
But there's probably a good 10% of books that can easily just directly be made into movies.
You know, it's funny.
Did you ever watch The Lovely Bones?
I did. I fucking hate that movie. I thought it was boring as shit.
Yeah, it was okay, but
No,
I've actually read The Lovely Bones, and
I'm sure it's a better book.
It was like the same thing.
Oh,
though.
really? Well, then I'm sure it was equally overrated. Then I thought the movie sucked.
I mean, my point is that I don't even think that they needed to adapt the screenplay. It was like literally it went from the book to the movie, like it just. There was no division there. There was no line there. There was no you almost didn't need a screenwriter. You just needed a good director, and the story itself didn't have saving.
Was that Peter Jackson, or was he?
That was Peter Jackson.
Or did he just produce it?
No. Peter Jackson directed it.
Really?
But that might be why, because Peter Jackson adapted Lord of the Rings incredibly. Yeah, but it's if not the best adaptation ever.
Two different beasts. But yet, wait. You said Lord of the Rings was not the best adaptation?
Probably the best adaptation ever.
Right. Yes, that is correct. It is probably the greatest adaptation. Just because
Return of the King. Return of the King.
A lot of the thing about Lord of the Rings in terms of how it was adapted was that there's so many things that was left vague in the books that he struck a compromise between the interpretation that just I couldn't. When a director can think of something that I'm very familiar with, like, because I read the books Lord of the Rings way before the movies came out. I can say that as a book snob because I never fucking read. You know me, dude. I think reading pollutes the brain, but I loved the Lord of the Rings books. But I could have done without all the songs and all the poems and all the side stories and shit. And
exactly, that's exactly what I thought.
He consolidated that shit perfectly.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some
for example,
some not so good aspects of the Lord of the Rings books.
I mean, they're a little dated, obviously, and they were written at a time, and it was very ambitious. And you guys have to keep in mind, J.R. Tolkien was not a writer; he was a linguist.
Yeah.
So for him to create this whole
C.S. Lewis, who wrote Mere Christianity and the Screwtape Letters, convinced him to write a book
instead of just a manual. Yeah. It's funny because he must be kicking himself because now, like, The Witch, the Lion, and the Wardrobe, it gets completely, both in the books and in the movies, are completely, like, steamrolled by Lord of the Rings. But
it's funny because he actually hated it. J.R.R. Tolkien he ended up hating his own book.
Well,
not so much because he wasn't satisfied with what he had written. He didn't agree with the way it was interpreted, the way that, like, the people who liked it, because a lot of hippies liked it, and then also apparently a lot of neo-Nazis, or at least Nazis at the time.
Yeah, I heard about that, like, because of the black orcs,
which is retarded. Because they thought that the white man prevailed at the end, but what they didn't realize
was that fucking Christopher Lee was the white wizard and he was evil. But that's just one.
No. Not only that, but they didn't realize that technically.
Oh yeah, it was a World War I. It was a World War I allegory, and the bad guys were the German. I mean, the fascists were represented by the orcs.
No, definitely. But what I'm trying to say is that why that's one of the stupidest theories of all time is because they used all kind of, technically in the world of J.R.R. Tolkien, different races, elves, dwarves, everybody came together
to fight
and
evil.
Abolish, to fight bad. It wasn't just the white man.
Another thing I want to say about Lord of the Rings and how the adaptation was, one of the biggest accomplishments was the Balrog, the monster that Gandalf sacrifices himself killing. There was a huge controversy amongst fans about whether he has smoke wings or just wings in the shadows, or whether he's covered in smoke or actually has wings. And Peter Jackson, the way the CGI is, if you watch it, his wings are made of smoke, and it's a stupid subtle detail, but it's those kind of details that the fucking nerd fans will fight over, and he fucking beat everybody.
Or dude, how about the ending? The ending in the book.
Oh yeah, deciding to letting Boromir die on screen by the end of the first movie was also a stroke of genius, and that was a huge change.
That too. No, but the fact that actually, people complain about
the
how
9
many
different endings. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That
he actually deleted some endings.
Very short.
Yeah, no.
Because imagine how bad Return of the King would have been if after all that. Well, actually, before he docks on the ship and all that. Well, I don't want to say too much. Before that, technically, when they go back to the Shire, everybody's like in shackles and in prison.
Oh yeah, the fall of the Shire. He left that out.
Yeah,
the
and
purge
so
technically of the Shire.
there still has to be like a little mini revolution there. He completely scratched that. They go back to the Shire. Everybody's happy.
I think that was the smarter choice. But let's push forward here. Like we'll have our own little podcast for Lord
of the Rings podcast
for sure. Yeah, Lord of the Pod.
Lord of the Pod.
Best achievement in directing. Duh. Of course, that was gonna go to Michelle.
That's skippable.
Has an issue. Best performance by an actor supporting role. Okay, now here's where I'm probably gonna lose some friends over or get some hate mail out of, but I didn't think Octavia Spencer deserved the best supporting actor, and just the way she accepted it.
Where's my racist sound effect? Come on.
I
need Al Sharpton's voice.
The racist sound effects would be
Yeah.
No, dude, are you serious though? Like, let's be honest.
I'm just kidding.
A much superior performance of that exact same idea and execution is The Color Purple, or
Color Purple blows.
Or even performances in Ray. I thought Ray's mom deserved the best supporting actor way more than Octavia Spencer. Or just like this, just the proud, sassy black woman. We've seen it. So the way to get nominated for it is to kind of bend that a bit. You know what I mean? Play within that scope of understanding.
I really have to watch it. I'm planning on watching it on Wednesday,
Dude,
2 days from now.
It's such a whatever movie, and it's so funny because I mean, it came out like in March or something, or in April. I was very surprised that people still remembered it, and you know what's crazy is that it's funny for people who are kind of, people who feel like it's getting, like people who felt that movie is a fucking soapbox. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell is this? Like, it should have been a straight-to-TV movie. Really, that's what it felt like. It felt like a straight-to-TV movie. If it was not for the cast, you would swear it's a fucking TNT movie or something like that.
This is kind of on topic, but maybe a little off topic. But I'd love to know what was your opinion if you ever saw it on Precious?
Oh, same exact. Oh my God! Thank you for bringing it up, Monique.
Because the whole time you're talking, I'm trying to relate.
What a stretch!
I'm trying to relate.
Holy shit! What a stretch! Monique plays an abusive, trashy black woman who's huge and sassy. What? I mean, what kind of preparation do you think she went to get into that character? It's like, what kind of meditation exercises did she go through to kind of just completely escape?
She deserved the nomination. I don't know about a win. I think she deserved the nomination. She was good. She was kind of scary.
But see,
my biggest problem.
She was scary in fucking Beer Fest. What?
She's scary. Yeah, she's scary. Period. Like, her name is scary. It's like
Monique. Oh God, she's just such a caricature. I find Monique.
But I just thought that movie was just.
I think Monique
over dramatized the whole thing.
Yeah, it was so exaggerated. I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
And mind you, those things probably happen. But I guess I don't see. I've gotten many discussions with people about this. Like, I guess I just don't see what is. I'm not attracted to that.
Well,
I don't find
this
like
all
true
has
sense of
racist
art
undertones
into that.
And everything you're saying.
No, actually, absolutely not. If anything, some people will call me kind of like maybe black on the inside or white chocolate, whatever you want to call it.
Coconut
because
is my favorite.
I tend to like those things. I like these documentaries about inner cities. I like The Wire is my favorite show of all time. I find it fascinating when done the right way, but it's so easy to do it the wrong way. It's like a hot dog.
Dude, it's like
a hot
know what
dog.
it is? I found, and this is again might be a controversial statement, but Monique's performance, as well as Octavia Spencer, I found the performances racist because they promote this sort of stereotype that's been established, and I understand that those exist, but they're not doing the black community any favors, and it's just like, I don't know. Again, it is one of the, Octavia Spencer. She won, I believe, because there was once again a confusion between the character and the actual portrayal. You know what I mean? Like the acting versus the actual characterization, which again is a screenplay issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But as far as actual performances, I mean, again, oh my God. Okay, so we got a fat black sassy woman playing herself in the 60s. Essentially is what it was. And it's just nothing to write home about, nothing special, not film-worthy, not Oscar-worthy. And Berenice Bejo, holy shit. She did stuff that we couldn't train people for years to do. You know what I mean? Like, she just, my God. She
was great. I mean,
so snubbed.
She probably, if there's an award for smiling, she gets it. It's done.
She's gonna do something else next year, and she's gonna win for that. I feel like they're gonna do
Can I say one thing about Jean Dujardin or whatever?
Jean Dujardin. Yeah. What about
him? I still think that he deserved it. And it was still my favorite performance of the year. And
it was the best performance of the year.
Equally, I thought the best performance of the year.
We're not there yet, buddy.
But I thought that, just real quick.
Well, let's wait till we get to best actor, because we will get there. But
okay, just because I might lose my thought.
Well, hold on to it really fast, because we're gonna talk about best supporting actor really fast. Christopher Plummer won, just like I thought. So I mean,
cool.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah, the only movie I saw here was Moneyball, Jonah Hill.
Right. Well, which I'm glad he got the nomination, but certainly didn't deserve the win. And you know what? I actually, even though I didn't vote for Nick Nolte, you did. I thought Nick Nolte's performance was the best. Now I didn't see Beginners, so maybe I'm wrong, but I thought Nick Nolte was incredible in The Warrior. I just knew he wasn't gonna win. Like I just knew it.
Yeah. He's too much of a controversial guy.
Is that why he didn't win?
He's too.
I think
he probably would have gone up there and like smoked the Oscar.
I just don't think I think The Warrior just wasn't very good, and so they didn't want to make The Warrior a winner of anything. You know, like also it's like a summer movie, and those things get snubbed all the time. So I don't know.
That's true.
But all right. So moving on to best performance, lead role actress. This is the big one. I thought Viola Davis was going to win. You thought Michelle Williams was going to win. And turns out it was Meryl Streep in for the number 3 Oscar in her closet.
Ooh.
And
look, here's the thing. People hated that, right? And a lot of people were annoyed by it. But at the end of the day, it's 3 out of 17. Is that much of a success rate?
Yes, because
a lot of people get nominated 3 times and win once.
Yes, but they win for she
so
was
technically
one of her earliest,
on that same ratio.
One of her earliest,
by her 9th nomination, she should have won.
One of her earliest nominations, which was I think actually her first nomination, was Sophie's Choice, and she won. Now, once you win on your first nomination, there's some diminishing returns there. I mean, that's sort of like.
I mean, when I won the first time,
right?
I didn't. I'm just kidding.
Listen, I'm saying that I feel like after that, it's an uphill battle because they want to kind of spread out the love. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But now she just pulled a Jack Nicholson 17. Where she's just a darling now. But
17 nominations.
Well, would you prefer that she wins 5 Academy Awards? I would be very upset. I would be extremely upset if she wins, that many.
But that's exactly what I'm getting at. What's more impressive? 3 wins out of 17 nominations, or 5 wins out of 9 nominations?
No one is ever going to win 5 Academy Awards.
Okay, but you never know.
I mean, I don't want anybody to win 5 Academy Awards because that means other people
get snubbed. But hypothetically speaking, what's more impressive?
Hypothetically speaking, of course 5 is better than 3, so it's a stupid question. It's phrased in a dumb way, but I think that the amount of nominations sort of adds up. I feel like 3 nominations is
wait, hold on. She would have been nominated 9 times in that case. This time she's been nominated 17. So my point is, are the amount of nominations first. That impressive?
Yes.
That's not what's that impressive. What's impressive are the wins.
No, but being nominated.
Sean Penn has not been nominated 4 times? He's won twice. That's way more impressive.
But when did she win her second award?
That doesn't matter. She's been nominated 17 times. 17 times.
But that's super impressive, and they're not going to give it to her because everyone expects for her. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like they acknowledge her.
So basically, to my principal point, why are people mad? It's her 3rd win. I'm happy for her. I
feel like after 2, the Oscars should probably chill, and especially when you have. Man,
apparently they chilled because they gave her 17 nominations.
But that's still like maybe that's too. It's not that it's too few of wins. It's too many. It's too many nominations is what it is. Also,
exactly.
Also, it's funny. One thing to note that Billy Crystal did some weird math there. He said nominated 17 times and wins 2.
That. I noticed that.
What was you gonna do with the other 14?
Yeah,
and I
was like, wait a minute.
I had a moment where
I had like a Homer moment.
Excuse me. I ended up what I did was I looked at my hands and I did the whole like 2nd grade. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me just do the.
Wait a minute.
There's no
second. Way Billy Crystal can be wrong on national television. Oh, he is.
And it's that's what happens when you act for too long. Must be the Botox getting to his brain. But all right.
I mean, I'm sure he was somewhat nervous.
So pushing through. Best performance by an actor in a leading role. What were you gonna say about Jean Dujardin?
What I was gonna say about him is, like I said, I think he completely deserved it. It was my favorite performance of the year, and I'm totally happy with it. Only thing I would like to say is that I feel that his performance in my mind went down a little bit
at the end.
It went down a little bit just because of this.
With pleasure.
One thing, no. One thing that I find fascinating about performances, standout performances that leave a legacy and a mark in the history of filmmaking, are performances where the actor didn't act like, in any way, shape, or form, like himself, how he is in real life. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not a great performance if he's still kind of similar to the personality he has in real life, and he just knocked it out of the ballpark and got everything right and everything was just spot on. But as far as one of the great performances, I thought that was one of the great performances. To understand my point a little more, imagine, we were talking about James Franco before. Imagine James Franco would have done that performance. He would have played that character in The Artist, right? And he was that same character that we know today, played by Jean Dujardin.
That wouldn't happen, though. It wouldn't come out that way. Not only would it not come out that way, we wouldn't have been able to receive it that way. A big part of acting is how it's received. And I think that a big aspect of why I'm so...
You understand my point, right?
Sure. He's so animated in real life, and he just played an animated character. But you know what?
His smile, his facial expressions are identical
but that
to his
accomplishment,
character.
to be able to smile that way, to be able to do all those things, are just so impressive.
But it's almost like he should get like some kind of humanitarian human achievement award, perfect person,
because he would,
perfect
just
entertainer
because he's
award.
Biologically predisposed to become an actor.
And mind you, I feel bad because this is one of those points where now all of a sudden anyone listening is like, oh wow, he really didn't think that he should have won. No. I thought he was fascinating. I'm just trying to put him on another level. I looked at it in a different way. I looked at it like, wow, this is one of these great performances.
Here's my argument. Jack Nicholson winning the Academy Award for, anything, you could argue that he just played it like Jack. But playing like Jack is so much more interesting than watching like 85% of other actors, completely dissolving and completely immersing themselves into a role. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's a very person by person thing.
What I'm saying is, to accomplish certain mechanical achievements, like what Jean Dujardin was able to do. I mean, who do you think deserved it more on this list? Fucking what?
No, nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I mean, also,
nobody.
It's like, he again, the biggest thing about it was the shock value that I had never seen this guy before in my life, and he just owned the stage. He just owned the screen, and I'm just like,
no homo. You fell in love with the guy. You fell in love with the character.
And a little homo. A little homo.
Like, you can throw a little homo in there. Then again, it's French.
A sprinkle of homo. It's not a homo if he kisses the cheek, just 2 Mississippis. That's not homo. That's just
if he
that's
was like
respect.
If he was like some cowboy shit kicking character, like a George Bush type, and we're talking like this, there's homo.
Well, the guy, then again,
it's a French thing. It's like a cultural thing.
Brokeback Mountain
cool to be
told
a
us
homo.
that cowboys can be lovers as well. No,
I concede my point.
No, I really fucking love this performance. And again, it's one of those full performances where it's like, he made you laugh, he made you cry, he can sing.
Yeah.
He didn't sing, but he danced. And
that's why I don't want that to be the last.
That's for sure.
I don't want to just have like a critique on it. Like, I don't want that to be the last thing that people remember me saying. Like,
it's too late, dude. Everyone's gonna label you a hater now.
Apparently,
everyone's gonna label you a hater.
The actual scene that they showed.
All 3 people that listen to this.
Yeah, the scene that they showed in the Oscar for when he was nominated.
Mm-hmm.
The famous scene where he's
voiceless,
dreaming and there's no sound.
The voiceless dream.
For instance, that kind of combats my point. He doesn't look like that all the time. He's not always distraught.
The suicide scene
and
also
shits
on your point.
And that is why. But no,
go
it doesn't shit on my point.
Just take it back. It's okay.
No. You see, that doesn't show my point because I put a disclaimer before I said this because I still think it's an amazing, fantastic performance, best performance of the year.
Robert Downey.
I was just trying to say that when I first saw it, I guess subconsciously it was like maybe in my top 10 all time. And I just don't think it's in my top 10 all time.
I think it still belongs there. I think, for example, Robert Downey Jr., another personality actor.
I don't like Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, well, then we'll definitely move on because you suck now. Well, then it's no surprise.
But, I did like him in Due Date. I really like Due Date.
Again,
I thought it was a genuinely good
we will
comedy.
have to definitely move forward because...
You didn't like Due Date?
I thought it was a little much in the terms...
in
all the ways where it could have
awesome.
been grounded, it was too much. In all the ways where it could have been much, I thought...
that movie wasn't meant to be grounded.
What I'm saying is...
It was completely...
What I'm saying, all the parts that should have been over the top were boring, and all the parts that should have been grounded ended up being exaggerated in a way... Not that unreal is bad. In fact, I expect that from my comedies, especially the ones that are seemingly grounded. I love that when a seemingly grounded comedy goes a little surreal on you. What I don't like is when it takes me out of the movie, and there's a lot of scenes in that movie that just kind of took me out. That was like, this isn't funny, this is uncomfortable. And it's just
really?
Yeah, I felt like that a whole lot. And most Todd Phillips movies, I kind of feel like that. Fucking Road Trip and I did not Road Trip. Road Trip, and I'm one of the few people who did not like fucking any of the Hangover movies.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, all right, we can move on.
Dude,
the motion picture of the year.
Hold on, wait,
what?
You're not giving me a chance here.
Are you gonna say you agree with me?
Hell yeah.
Nice, Brood. Dude,
hated.
Nice, Brood. Bro, dude.
It's not that I did not enjoy it. I genuinely
shitty.
Disliked The Hangover.
And you know why I disliked it so much? Because the concept was so genius. Like on paper, I
don't know.
Well, here.
Wait, now hold on here. Let's be fair. When did you watch The Hangover? After all the madness, or did you go and watch it?
No, sir. I watched that shit opening day because I expected a lot.
Oh, okay. And I watched it after the madness.
Well, then that
so
that
I had like a little No Country for Old Men thing going. Where it was like, okay,
what are you trying to say about
watch,
No Country for Old Men?
It's like you're about to watch the greatest movie that has ever graced.
Oh no, I don't think anyone ever called it that.
A Cinemaplex.
No,
has ever graced a Cinemaplex.
Yeah, the Cinematech.
And I sat my ass down. And a couple, 4 power naps later, and...
Whoa, are we still talking about...
No Country for Old Men.
Whoa, really?
Yes. I think probably the best part of that movie was, the wrinkles on Tommy Lee Jones' face.
You're very weird, because that
you
movie
can tell
was
a story on that.
fucking awesome. I guess you don't like good acting, because Javier Bardem must have went over your head there.
He was awesome.
He was
that
was one of the best.
He made that movie, but
he should have won 3 years for that
fucking
movie, dude.
Easily one of the most underrated scores ever.
It's funny because there was no score. Yeah.
There was no.
Yeah,
score.
yeah. Well, I understand you're a music guy and you love your score, but sometimes it's a risky.
No, it was appropriate.
I thought it was very appropriate. And you know what? The only
as long as you have some badass like
sound design,
not over the top action scenes to go with it. Yeah, exactly, and have some good sound design, some good gunshot sounds.
I love how sort of
like kind of how Michael Mann does it, in his action
Speaking
scenes.
of grounded, that's a movie where although it felt very precise in its direction, especially in the cinematography and the editing and the performances, I thought it felt like this could have been real, and it made the tension. Dude, the coin flip scene was, I think, one of the few scenes constructed that I would call perfect. It was the perfect.
Actually, I'll give it a huge compliment right now.
Okay.
No Country for Old Men is basically touching on what you're saying. It's one of the, how every movie kind of creates its own world. It creates its own rules.
Yeah, its own universe.
And sometimes you could enjoy a movie, you can like it, you can like, let's say, the screenplay or the direction or the acting, but there's something about the world that starts breaking its own rules, and you kind of, the suspension of disbelief kind of just dithers away. What I thought was fascinating about No Country for Old Men is it was just spot on in its own world. It was so consistent to its own framework, to its own design, to its own design.
That's perfectly put with the framework. I would compare it to Pulp Fiction in that sense, where it felt like everyone belonged to this cooler universe that we just don't exist in.
It was not exactly. It was not a fake universe.
The only thing that I actually didn't like about No Country for Old Men, since we're both compromising here,
I love Woody Harrelson. I love Woody Harrelson.
He should have been nominated.
He's so awesome.
He should have been nominated for Best Actor for Rampart.
No, he literally looks like he's shitting himself in that scene. Watch it again.
No, I don't have to watch. I've seen that movie like fucking 7 times already.
In that one scene,
when Javier when he's trying to negotiate for his life, and I love when Javier Bardem puts his feet on the table to avoid the blood puddle. That was fucking sick. But the only flaw I think of that movie, and it's a pretty strong one, is how Josh Brolin went out. He died off camera. I didn't like that. Shit's weak. I did not like that at all. I thought they should have.
It was so anticlimactic.
What they should have done.
They basically show a shot and he's on the floor, which was, by the way, obviously on purpose.
No, I know
that was to create some kind of effect. And
it's supposed to be that sort of tragically anticlimactic. But honestly, they should have shown at least a flashback or something of him like killing everybody on the way down. Like something impactful, something where there's some kind of a good contrast to a shitty death scene.
Well, I mean that's one of the many things I didn't like about it. I mean,
the opposite of that would be Boromir's death. You know, like going back to Lord of the Rings. You know, that was just like one of the greatest death scenes of all time. But
definitely. I mean, one thing I definitely look at when I'm watching a movie, the first. It's kind of like they once asked Martin Scorsese, like, how are you able to watch a movie and not just completely be distracted by basically your critique and your directorial mind?
Breaking
and he was
it down,
he was like, no, the first time I watch it, I watch it as an audience member.
Right.
I completely, take myself away from that and just, objectively watch it as a fan, and I make my opinion based off of that, whether I was entertained or not. And then the second time he watches it technically speaking.
It's interesting.
You know what I mean?
It's interesting because I actually cannot separate the audience, but
neither can I. But
what happens is, though, I actually appreciate it more because of the technical achievements. So I look at it more half full the first time. I definitely scrutinize it more the second and third time I watch something. But certain things I'm like, oh my god, how do they do that? And I'll have that like I'll be like, oh my god, they must have had like fucking 3 camera operating guys and the CGI guy had to blend the 2 shots. For example, in Rules of Attraction, do you recall that film?
Yeah.
That shot where it was a split screen between Dawson and the
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then the split screen turns into one screen because of simultaneous.
I actually thought that was really cool.
That was
actually, if anything, that might be one of the only 3 scenes I can name you from the movie.
Right. Well, I thought it was such an awesome achievement in both editing and cinematography, and I thought that just to come up with that idea is pretty fucking genius. And
definitely those type of things, those kind of stand out, unique little things that directors do. But I think even your average person who's not like a big film buff,
acting choices I find really impressive. Like I'll even get out of my audience brain when I see just seeing Heath Ledger biting his lip when he says but when they cast you out. You just start looking at all those. But when they don't, those are the things that big and subtle. I'm impressed as a filmmaker before an audience member, but I think that makes the impact all the bigger.
No, and the reason why I brought it up is because basically going back to No Country for Old Men and the Oscars, actually, to kind of wrap it up.
Let's try to go full circle here.
Yeah, is basically The Artist, I felt completely deserved its win for Best Picture, for Best Director.
Definitely.
Because I felt, number one, this is the way I'm starting to rate movies nowadays.
Okay.
I think it's generally a good way to rate anything. It's basically, you got to look at it, was it entertaining? Is it not just something that you love, that you're just watching at home? Like, if you were a producer, would you pick that movie up? You know, I look at that's one of the criteria to judge a movie on, and basically, you know, is it universal? Is it well written? Is it well directed? Is it well acted? Do all the parts come together at the end as a whole? You know, things like that. So I think The Artist was the pinnacle of what a Best Picture should be. And you know what's fascinating about The Artist too is that it's also in a sense extremely experimental.
Right. I mean,
it's one of those movies you watch. It's like, wow, this movie is so great, but it will never win an Oscar.
For a movie that is so retrospective and so nostalgic, it does an amazing job being fresh and new and completely original, while simultaneously being not only referential to the past but self-referential. And I thought it like you said, it's this kind of all culminate. Everything had purpose. Everything fit together, and it wasn't just a sum of good parts. It was an amazing, cohesive piece of art, and I thought it was appropriately titled and definitely appropriately credited by the Academy. So I'm actually, out of most of, this is one of the most, even though I thought 2011 was for the most part kind of a weak year, I thought the Oscars definitely
it was better than 2010.
Was very was for the most part, you know, on point when it comes to allocation of credit. But I think that's all the time we have for now. Again, thank you for stopping by, Alonso. Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having.
Love our chats.
Thank you very much for having me. Whenever you need me, I am here.
I always
have a blast.
I will definitely be sending you an invitation for our future TV podcasts coming up.
But that's the thing. You got to need me, not want me. You got to need.
Well,
when you feel the necessity, then you call me, and I will be here.
In that case, you'll definitely be hearing from me next year. No, I'm kidding. Definitely. No, don't worry, dude. I'll definitely be requiring you real soon. So,
can we put like the suicidal gunshot sound effect right now?
I'll do it in post. So that's our show. I hope you enjoyed it. I think the final count is 13-15, my favor. Thank you very much. And go ahead and subscribe to the Turns Out Productions page on Facebook. Every subscriber makes me stronger. So until next time, this is Jules for Alonso saying thank you for listening, hold fast, and stay hard.